At the beginning of the film, we see a ritual being performed. An old woman sacrifices a rooster and feeds its heart to a woman named Ranti. Then she hides in blood as part of the ritual. Afterward, she walks into a room, dressed as a wife. The wind blows, causing her veil to flutter. Suddenly, the veil falls from her face, and the garland around her neck is pulled back. A demon's hand then appears, touches her face inappropriately, and lays her down. The film then shifts to the past, where we are introduced to Ranti, her sister Siti, and Gita, who is Ranti's sister-in-law. It's revealed that they run a butcher shop, and Siti is 7 months pregnant. Another character, Mr. Haji, is then introduced. It becomes clear that there is tension between Siti and Ranti, while Gita appears to side more with Ranti. We are then introduced to Nina, Ranti's daughter, who has a leg condition. She asks when her father, Boho, will return from work. Ranti replies that she doesn't know his sailing schedule. We then see Bayu, Siti's husband. It is implied that Bayu is lazy and doesn't work. He has a pet rooster named Rocky and is involved in cockfighting. Later, we see their mother, Diane. After realizing there's no breakfast on the table, she begins to berate Ranti, accusing her of being an irresponsible wife. Ranti hears the remarks from the kitchen, and Gita is the only one who defends her. Ranti gets Nina ready for school while Gita prepares to take her. Diane questions why Gita is taking Nina instead of Ranti. Ranti explains that she needs to accompany Boho to see him off. We then see Ranti preparing delivery packages when she notices Boho giving money to Diane and Bayu. Bayu asks for more, saying Siti will be delivering soon. During the trip, Boho asks Ranti if she has any savings. She replies that she saves from selling cooked chicken, although her mother never approves of her side job. She says, "I can't seem to please either mother or Siti. I work so hard for this family. I go to the market to sell chicken, take care of the house, and yet I get blamed for everything." Bayu does nothing, and she never says anything about him. Boho suggests that they move out, but Ranti reminds him they have nowhere else to go. She admits that she feels safer knowing she and Nina are with family. Ranti, hurt by the constant accusations against her, asks why Boho never defends her. Being accused of being an irresponsible mother weighs heavily on her. Boho tries to comfort her. Later, Ranti quietly watches Boho as he departs for his ship. When she returns home, she finds Diane crying. Diane sarcastically asks, "Is this what you call being a good mother?" The scene cuts to Ranti rushing through a hospital corridor. She accidentally bumps into a woman, quickly apologizes, and hurries ahead to meet Gita. Gita tells her that Nina has been hit by a car. She explains that she was late picking her up and tearfully apologizes. A doctor informs them that Nina is in critical condition and her chances of survival are slim. Ranti begs the doctor to save her at any cost. Later that night, an old woman named Dutari approaches Ranti and offers her food, saying she knows Ranti hasn't eaten all day and tells her she can pay later. Atari gently reassures her that her daughter will get better. Surprised, Ranti asks how she knows it's her daughter. Atari replies that she heard people talking. She tells Ranti that as a mother, she must not give up hope. Ranti says the doctor told her the chances are very low. Atari responds, "Help doesn't always come from doctors. If there's another way, would you want to try it?" She gives Ranti a piece of paper and walks away. Just then, Gita arrives and asks about Atari. Ranti remains silent. The next day, the doctor informs Ranti that Mina needs immediate brain surgery. Ranti tells the family that she doesn't have enough funds for the procedure and hasn't been able to reach Bolo due to network issues. Diane says she has no savings. Gita suggests selling the house, but Bayu immediately objects. When Gita insists, Bayu snaps at her. Diane intervenes, saying they should wait for Bolo's opinion. Gita argues that he cannot be reached. Ranti pleads, "My daughter might not survive without this urgent surgery, but the doctor said she still has a chance." Siti questions the point of surgery with such low odds, but Gita insists even a small chance is still a chance. Later, a distressed Ranti tries calling Bolo again, but fails to connect. Gita approaches her, apologizes on behalf of the family, and embraces her helplessly before leaving. Alone, Ranti takes out the paper Yutari gave her and discovers a map sketched on it. From the window, Siti watches as Ranti drives away. The scene cuts to the one shown at the beginning of the film. Ranti is at Yutari's place. She says, "You came at the right time. It's Tuesday, Kliwa." She assures Ranti that once the ceremony is complete, her daughter will recover. He will take care of everything that you need, and life will become easier. Yutari feeds Ranti raw rooster liver, then bathes her with the blood. She then ties up a room's curtain, and Ranti walks towards the room in a bridal dress. Yutari sits her on the bed and asks her to repeat her words. She says, "On this night full of passion." Ranti repeats after her. She continues, "I will be giving my body and my soul to you. I am your bride." Utari then places an offering. Just then, a gust of wind blows in, and something unseen pulls Ranti's veil from behind, followed by her garland. A demonic hand emerges and touches her face inappropriately before laying her down. The demon begins to get intimate with her, while outside, Utari continues reciting spells. Later, Utari informs Ranti that her duties are not over. To keep her daughter alive, she must continue making offerings. A rooster's head and liver. Everything on the plate must be buried around the house each week, beginning that very night. The next morning, Nina arrives home. Her legs are fully healed, and she can walk normally. Diane is overjoyed at the sight, but Sidi and Bayu are visibly confused. Sidi quietly tells Bayu she suspects Ranti has used black magic. Bayu replies that whatever it is, at least the house is no longer on the market. Later that evening, Gita knocks on Ranti's door. After getting no response, she opens it and steps inside, asking what she is doing in the dark. Ranti suddenly appears behind her. Gita invites her to come outside to cut the thumping. As Gita leaves, Ranti shuts the door, sits in front of the mirror, and we see her bridal form appearing on both sides of the reflection. The next day, Sidi notices Ranti closing the window. Ranti glances at her, then shuts the door as well. She sits down in front of the TV, which displays only static. Sidi walks into the hall and asks why she has blocked all the light. She opens the window, but Ranti just laughs, staring at the no-signal screen. Sidi asks about their mother-in-law, but Ranti doesn't respond. Suddenly, there's a knock at the front door. As Sidi walks over and pulls back the curtain, she's stunned to see Ranti standing outside with Nina, visibly confused. Ranti walks in, ignoring her, then throws Sidi a teasing smile. Sidi goes inside to check, but is surprised to find no one there. Later that night, she confides in Gita, saying that ever since Nina returned from the hospital, Ranti has developed a habit of sitting in the dark. She tells her that in the afternoon, she saw two Rantis, one inside the house and the other outside with Nina. Gita dismisses her concerns. When they hear the sound of splashing water, Sidi wonders why Ranti is bathing at night. Gita shrugs it off, saying there's nothing unusual about bathing at night. At midnight, while Nina sleeps, a demonic hand emerges. One rests on her waist, and another touches her head. The scene shifts to Bayu arriving home and asking Sidi to cook noodles for him. Still half asleep, Sidi gets up and heads to the kitchen. As she starts preparing the noodles, she notices several frogs outside the window. Disgusted, she places the pan on the stove, and just then, a frog jumps into the pan. She quickly kills it with a fork, throws it away, and shuts the window. Suddenly, the door opens on its own, and she hears Ranti giggling in the bath, as if not alone. Curious, Sidi listens closely, records a video of her bathing, and shares it with people at the market. Just then, Ranti steps out of the bathroom, silently staring at her, before walking away. When Sidi checks, the bathroom is empty, leaving her confused. The next day, Ranti storms into the shop, snatches a knife, and lunges at Sidi. Sidi, who admits to leaking the video, jeers, "Are you going to kill me in front of everyone? I know you're hiding something. I filmed it to prove you're a freak." Ranti says, "You've crossed the line, you ungrateful woman." Just as Ranti is about to stab Sidi, Gita intervenes. Ranti then hits the knife to the side. In that moment, Ranti snaps back to her senses. Realizing what she was about to do, she rushed out. Later that night, Bayu enters his room and asks for noodles. Sidi wakes up and notices that the noodles are already boiling on the stove. Suddenly, Ranti appears behind her, smiling and startling her. Acting strangely, Ranti puts her hand into the boiling water and pulls out a frog, which she begins to eat, leaving Sidi horrified. Ranti says, "The noodles are ready," and walks away while eating. Sidi prepares a fresh bowl of noodles and returns to the room. When she tries to wake Bayu, she finds Ranti instead. Ranti grabs her neck and pierces her hand into Sidi's stomach, pulling out her baby and eating it. Just then, Gita's alarm goes off. She knocks on Ranti's door, telling her to get ready for the market. At the same time, Bayu walks in from outside. Gita tells him to wake Sidi. He enters the room and finds only a pillow under the blanket. He calls out to her. But when Gita asks where Sidi is, he ignores the question and goes back to sleep. In the morning, the family grows concerned about Sidi's disappearance. Bayu suggests she might be upset with Ranti for attacking her at the market. Diane scolds Ranti for fighting with Sidi, but Gita defends her. She then says she and Ranti are heading to the market. Maybe Sidi went ahead of them. Diane warns them not to mention Sidi's absence to anyone. She doesn't want people talking about the family. After everyone leaves, Diane calls Sidi and hears her crying. Suddenly, the wheelchair moves backward on its own, revealing Sidi's ghost in the room. Diane blocks the wheelchair and hears faint crying from the room, but the room is empty. Later that night, Nina is seen winding up her toy, which rolls into the bathroom. Outside, Geeta hears someone crying. She goes to check but finds nothing. Then hears the crying again. She quickly switches on her flashlight and phone camera, which detects a face, though no one is there. Meanwhile, Nina enters the bathroom to retrieve her toy. Outside, the face detection signal keeps getting closer. Inside, as Nina bends to pick up her toy, Ranti emerges from the bathtub, asking, "Do you want to take a bath with mommy?" Nina screams. Geeta rushes in, and we see City's ghost silently pleading for help. Shaken, Nina asks Geeta if she can sleep with her that night. Geeta agrees. The next morning, Ranti is seen slaughtering a rooster. She offers her head as a ritual offering and buries it behind her house. As she discards the body, she notices a swarm of flies and a blood-stained cloth. When she pulls the cloth, City's hand comes out with it. Horrified, Ranti rushes to Utari. Utari tells her that City's death is her doing. Since the wedding, the demon has been living inside her. He entered their home and protected her because she is his bride. Anyone who tries to harm her will be defended and avenged. She asks, "Wouldn't your husband do the same if someone tried to hurt you?" Ranti replies that she doesn't want any more deaths in her family. But Utari tells her it's too late. She is bound to him for life, and she agreed to it herself. The scene cuts to Bayu attending a rooster fight. Suddenly, he spots City behind the crowd. Shocked, he rushes to look for her, calling out her name. Just then, a mannequin topples over, startling him. He kicks it aside and continues calling for her. Moments later, City appears behind him. She silently reaches out her hand toward him, and as he walks forward, she begins to follow him. Suddenly, a man informs Bayu that his rooster is dead. Later that night, Bayu hears someone crying. He follows the sound and sees City's hand. As he looks closer, he realizes it's her. Furious, he confronts Ranti. Ranti is stunned to find City's body lying in Bayu's bedroom. Bayu holds up a shirt and accuses her, saying he knows it's hers. Geeta intervenes, stopping him, and quickly takes Ranti away. Diane then tells Bayu to bury City's body in the backyard, insisting that no one should find out. She says, "I don't want people talking about City." Nina then asks Ranti if she killed City. Ranti breaks down in tears, and Nina, frightened, runs away from her. Next, we see Bayu burying City in the backyard. Ranti silently walks behind him. He notices her heading somewhere and follows her to the chicken coop. Just then, an invisible force suddenly pushes and drags him. A sharp wooden piece pierces his eye. Ranti laughs and walks out. Bayu manages to carefully free himself and stumbles out of the coop. Suddenly, a powerful force throws him across the yard. And just then, a hen pecks his eye with its beak, ripping out his eyeball. Blinded, Bayu staggers out, crashes into something, and a nearby shed collapses on him. Geeta jolts awake. The shed severs Bayu's head. Ranti, now back to normal, watches in shock as Geeta rushes out and finds his body. Ranti runs to her room and locks the door. Geeta follows, demanding to know what happened. Ranti, overwhelmed and confused, begins banging her head against the door. Crying, she says, "Among all of you, Geeta, you're the one I love most in this family. Please don't make me angry." Nina walks up to Geeta and hugs her. The next day, Geeta buries Bayu in the backyard. She urges Diane to seek help from Haji, but Diane insists on waiting for Baul. Geeta warns that two people are already dead and questions what will happen if one of them is next. Later, Nina hears strange noises coming from Ranti's room. She puts her ear to the door, then peeks through the window. Inside, Ranti is acting erratically, screaming and banging her head against the wall. Suddenly, she slumps down and starts crying. Suddenly, she looks up and gives Nina a haunting smile, scaring her. Soon after, Haji arrives to check on Ranti. She's sitting oddly in her room when he enters. Haji asks Geeta for a glass of water. Haji then takes the glass of water from Geeta and begins reciting verses. Ranti watches him with a chilling smile, and suddenly, the glass shatters. She says teasingly, "Oops, it's broken," startling everyone. Later, Haji tells Geeta to keep praying, saying there's nothing that can't be overcome with the power of prayer. And then he leaves. Suddenly, Ranti whispers, "Stay out of this," into Geeta's ear and vanishes. Ranti is later seen spreading flowers on her bed. She glances out the window, notices Bo's return, and smiles oddly. Meanwhile, Geeta tells Bo about Ranti's disturbing behavior, insisting she killed Bayu and City. He refuses to believe it until Nina backs Geeta, saying her mother has changed since her recovery and wondering if it is her fault. Bo reassures Nina, then goes to check on Ranti. He knocks on her door. Ranti opens it just a crack, tells him he cannot enter, and shuts it again, leaving Bo bewildered. Around midnight, Bo hears strange sounds from Ranti's room. Curious, he knocks. The noises stop, and he peers through the keyhole. He sees Ranti laughing in bed. She lies down, levitates, and then descends as a demon begins to get intimate with her. She turns toward the door and laughs, and the demon suddenly looms in the keyhole, startling Bao. Gita and Nina come out of the room after hearing the noise. The next morning, Nina notices there's no electricity. Diane asks her to take food to her mother. Nina enters the bathroom, where Ranti is tied up. She looks demonic. Frightened, Nina sets the food down and starts to leave. In a deep, distorted voice, Ranti calls out to her. "Can you help mommy? Unlock me. Don't you want to set me free? Your dad is mean, he chained mommy. He lied when he said he loves me. Don't you love mommy?" Crying, Nina asks, "Why do you look like that?" "I miss the old you." Ranti hushes her gently. "Don't cry. See? I'm still your mommy. Unlock the chain, honey, please." She suddenly snaps. Just then, Diane arrives. Ranti says, "Mother, it should be you who is chained." She looks back at Nina. "Do you love your grandma? Your grandma is always mean to your mommy." Nina, terrified, quickly shuts the door. Later, Gita informs Bao that she saw an old woman talking to Ranti in the hospital. She sells rice. Maybe she is connected to all of this, but they fail to find her in the hospital. That night, Nina is seen crying. Suddenly, she hears Ranti's voice. "It's dark in here. I'm scared." Nina picks up candles and cautiously goes to the bathroom. She gently places the candle on the side. Nina asks, "Why didn't you eat the food?" Ranti replies, "Because you forgot the empty crackers. You know how much I love eating." Nina says, "I'll go get them for you." And as she leaves, Ranti begins singing softly. Meanwhile, Diane calls Bao to inform him that the power has been out since morning and asks him to come home. Then, a glimpse of Ranti appears behind her. Nina returns with the empty crackers but finds the bathroom empty. Ranti has escaped. She then hears Diane scream. Panicked, Nina runs to her grandmother's room and finds her dead, a knife stabbed into her neck. Behind her, Ranti asks, "Where are the empty crackers?" Nina slams the door shut and runs off, looking up toward the attic. Then Gita and Bao arrive home. Gita rushes inside and finds her mother dead. Bao follows, screaming in horror at the sight of his mother's lifeless body. Panicked, he tells Gita to find Nina. Gita begins searching for Nina when Ranti suddenly appears before her, smiling eerily. She haunts her with a haunting smile. Gita grabs a plate and strikes her. Ranti calmly pulls a shard of the plate from her forehead, then grabs Gita by the neck. Just then, she hears Bao calling for Nina. She laughs and appears behind him, hanging upside down, trying to slash his neck with the head shear. Bao turns just in time, narrowly dodging the attack and falling to the floor. Ranti haunts him with eerie, erratic movements and tries to attack him. Bao strikes her with a chair, but she hurls him aside in rage and bursts into laughter. She jumps on him and stabs him with the head shear twice. He pleads, "I'm your husband." Ranti replies, "She's no longer your wife. She's my bride," and stabs him again. Bao gasps, "Wake up, Ranti." For a moment, Ranti snaps out of it. Realizing what she's done, grief-stricken, she gently lifts Bao's head into her hands, then suddenly twists it and laughs. She then hears Nina calling for her dad and opens the attic door. Nina screams as Ranti grabs her. Just then, Gita strikes Ranti from behind. Enraged, Ranti grabs Gita by the neck and licks her face. Nina says, "I hate you, Mom. You don't love me anymore." Ranti growls. Nina continues, "I want my mom back. I'd rather be sick again and not walk. Take my legs back. Just bring her back." Ranti is suddenly transported to another realm. She hears Nina's voice echoing, begging her to return. "Please come back to us. I don't want to see you like this. I love you, Mom." Ranti walks forward and sees Nina at a distance. Nina says again, "I'd rather be sick again, but I want you back." Suddenly, Ranti returns to her senses, gasping. Realizing what she has done, she looks around, sees Bao lying dead, and tells Gita to take Nina away from there. Gita refuses. From there, Gita refuses. Ranti pleads, "I'm begging you, take Nina." Gita still refuses, but Ranti shoves her aside. She douses herself with kerosene, picks up a candle, and says to Nina, "Don't cry, I love you." Then to Gita, "Please forgive me." Nina and Gita cry out, trying to stop her, but Ranti sets herself ablaze. Gita grabs Nina and runs, driving away as the house burns behind them. The house is then seen burning, and the family photo inside the house catches fire, and the screen cuts to black. In the final scene, Gita opens a window and sees Atari standing outside. Just then, Nina realizes she can no longer move her legs. Suddenly, a wardrobe in the room starts shaking. Startled, Gita approaches it. The rumbling stops. She slowly opens the doors and finds Ranti's bridal dress hanging inside. Gita watches in terror, and the screen cuts to black, marking the end of the movie. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a scare. Until next time, stay spooky.